Hey guys, this is Malik Henry back here again with Heart Music. And just in case you forgot, I am your trombone instructor. So, all of you trombone lovers, it's great to see you back again. I hope with all of the uncertainty and craziness going on with the pandemic that the beginning of your school year has been productive. Hopefully you've been getting to see your friends, whether it's in person or over Zoom or Skype calls or whatever you're doing to stay connected. I hope that's been beneficial for you. So before we jump into new stuff in the video, I want to do a quick recap of some of the stuff that we talked about in our last video. So be sure to check out the intro to trombone video where we just talked about the different styles that the trombone is used for, from classical to jazz, swing, blues, etc., and all of the subcategories that go along with that. And we also briefly went over the different parts of the instrument, which is where I actually want to start my recap today. So, starting with our mouthpiece, all brass instruments will have a mouthpiece sort of like this, of varying sizes. And we have our cup, and we have our shank, and we have our rim, okay? And today we're going to go in a little more detail with the mouthpiece, especially on how important that is in producing our tone and really setting up how we're going to set up our embouchure, which is where we position our mouths on the mouthpiece to produce the kind of sound that we're looking for on the instrument. All right, so we have our mouthpiece first. And secondly, unique to us trombone players, we have our slide, which is composed of our outer slide, which is what we use to control the pitch, and our inner slide, which connects to the rest of the instrument and creates the resonance chamber inside the bell. Now, today, I have my Con 88H, which is a trigger trombone. So as you can see, I have my bell section, which is the main resonance chamber for all my sound. I vibrate the mouthpiece, create a buzzing sound that we're going to talk about later. It goes through my inner slide, and the pitch is controlled by my outer slide, and it goes all the way through all this tubing, and it comes out the other end to produce the pitch. Now today, I also have my F attachment, also known as the trigger trombone. And what this does is it lowers the pitch by a perfect fourth, which we'll go over a little bit of what that sounds like, and I'll show you a demonstration of that later on. And this allows us to hit a lot lower notes on the instrument, and it extends our range lower. And it also cuts out the necessity to use 6th and 7th position in certain times for certain notes. And once again, we'll go over specifically what those notes are when we get to that point. All right, so let's recap how we put this instrument together. This wonderful mess of tubing and curly metal thing is going on. It's pretty awesome. All right, so first we take our bell section. And if you notice, most bell sections of the trombone will have a screw attachment right here at the end of the bell. So we have the bell on this side. At the other end, we'll have this screw-on attachment right here. This attachment, which is also occasionally put on this longer side of the inner slide, so it'll be one of these two places. These two sections go together in a right angle. So if you see, this makes a perfect 90-degree angle with the bell and the slide section, the combined slide section. And I just want to make sure that this is properly in place, and once it is, I twist righty-tighty, lefty-loosey until it's locked in place firmly, but not too tight. Still want to have a little give that I can twist on and off with. Okay. And then I want to take my mouthpiece and just gently place it into the lead pipe here. So that's the opening for our trombone. Now, as far as our hand placement goes, I like to think of like a karate chop or an L shape. So remember, back in the good old kindergarten days, you would make the L in whichever hand you made it with. You wanted to make sure it was your left hand so that the L looked proper, okay? So we're going to do the same thing on trombone. But I'm going to take my entire hand like this, And under my top bar of my outer slide, or my inner slide, I'm going to wrap my 3 fingers under it like this, and I'm going to wrap my index finger around my mouthpiece. And that's going to be proper hand placement for my trigger trombone, okay? And as you can see, my left thumb is on the trigger. So going through that again, I have my hand in the proper L position. L for left hand, just so you make sure you know which direction it goes in. It goes up under. My thumb goes on the trigger. My 3 fingers wrap under this top bar. And my left index finger wraps over my mouthpiece. Now, as far as my right hand is going to be the hand that I actually play the instrument with, the hand that I move the slide with. So, first thing, I want to make sure that my slide lock is locked anytime I pick up my instrument. So, you'll see a lot of other people in class, they'll pick it up and their instrument will go flying halfway across the room. And that's just showing you that their slide lock was not put in the proper position. So you want to make sure that your slide is locked whenever you pick your instrument up. So I can pick my instrument up, I can move it around, and my slide stays in place. When I'm ready to play, I make sure that my left hand, once again, is in the proper playing position. These fingers wrapped under, index finger wrapped over the mouthpiece. I'm going to unlock my slide lock with my right thumb, and with 2 fingers on the slide. Just 2 fingers, and I like to put my 2 fingers towards the bottom of the slide. A little finger sandwich like this, so 2 fingers under and and your thumb on the other side. Just practice moving your slide back and forth so you get that natural range of motion. The best sort of graphic and way to think about the slide motion is Pledge of Allegiance, handshake. Pledge of Allegiance, handshake. So what that's telling me is that at my closest, I'm thinking my Pledge of Allegiance, hand over my chest, to handshake. So this natural range of motion is exactly what I'm going for. And last but not least, when we have our trombone in the playing position, we simply rest it on our left shoulder here. Okay? So I'm thinking Pledge of Allegiance, handshake. I have my left hand properly wrapped around the mouthpiece, and I have my finger sandwich going on with my right hand. So 2 fingers on the bottom bar of the mouthpiece and 1 thumb on the top bar of it, and it's resting on my left shoulder. Just get that natural range of motion and get used to that right there. Okay, so now the part that I'm sure all of your fantastic band directors are going to make sure that you do properly is your body placement. So proper body placement is incredibly important in making sure that you get the right and proper tone quality out of your instrument, and that you're breathing and using the proper technique in playing it. So I'm going to start from the ground up in terms of what that should look like. So the first thing is that you should never have your feet crossed, never have your ankles crossed, never have your legs crossed, no pretzel action going on with your legs whatsoever. What you want is your feet firmly planted on the ground, about shoulder width apart. And you want for your bottom to be sitting on the front inch of your chair. Okay? So the very front inch of your chair, feet shoulder width apart. And you want your back to be a relaxed, straight back. So it should be straight in terms of having really good posture, but not too tense, or nothing flexed in your back, but relaxed, tall posture like this. Okay, so you see my back is nice and flat, but it's still relaxed. I still want to be able to breathe comfortably and have the air move just in a relaxed and free way through my body and into my instrument. So sitting on the front inch of my chair with my feet firmly planted, straight posture, and I want my shoulders to be relaxed. Okay, so your band teachers, your music teachers, your band directors, if you take private lessons, they're going to be big on making sure you're not breathing with tension. So whenever you breathe, your shoulders shouldn't go near your ears. Your shoulders should be relaxed. Okay? And last but not least is going to be my head placement. So just to recap everything, feet firmly planted, I'm sitting on the front edge of my chair, I have a relaxed, flat back, My shoulders are relaxed in their position and they're not holding any tension. And very importantly, that a lot of younger musicians make the mistake of, I don't want to bring my face to my instrument where it's like my head is hanging forward like this. I want to bring the instrument to me. Okay? So just to go over that again, with my posture tall and my shoulders relaxed, feet firmly planted on the ground, sitting on the front edge of my chair, I bring my instrument to my face. Okay? Now, only good things can happen once you have this setup before you start playing your instrument. So going back to the shoulder tension thing, whenever we take a band breath, the proper breath to play a wind instrument, we always want to breathe into the lowest part of our abdomen. So if you breathe and you have a little gut going on, then that means you breathe properly. Okay? So you want to breathe in to fill up your body cavity, and your stomach goes out, and you can almost think of your rib cage like an accordion. So just practice taking a few breaths like that, with your stomach going out and your rib cage like an accordion going outwards as well. Okay, notice we relaxed our shoulders and our shoulders stay in that relaxed position. So they never go up towards our ears, they never go forward, they never go back. Okay, they stay relaxed in that down position. Now, why do we do this, you might ask? The main reason that we keep our shoulders relaxed is so we're not getting tension anywhere in our airstream before we play that air through our instruments. Okay, so this is making sure we're playing with a nice, open, relaxed, and free sound, and there's nothing obstructing or getting in the way of that at all. Okay, so recapping everything from our body placement into our breathing, we have our feet firmly planted on the ground, sitting on the front edge of our chair with a tall posture, tall, relaxed posture, shoulders not tense but relaxed shoulders, and breathing into the bottom of our abdomen with an accordion-like stretching in and out of our rib cage and our abdomen. Breathing into the lowest part of our body that way. All right. So now that we've covered those very basics of just how to position your body and how to breathe, I want to get into the brass player specific parts of how we make a proper sound on our instrument. So, removing our mouthpiece, and I'm going to gently rest my trombone down on the ground and out of the way. My embouchure is how I go about placing my mouth on my mouthpiece. Okay? So the key thing here is to make sure that the opening of your mouth is going directly midway across the opening of your mouthpiece. Okay? Okay, so you want to make sure that those two things are lined up properly. The second most important thing, in order for the buzz to happen on your instrument, you have to have no tension in the middle of your embouchure. So remembering the embouchure is the placement of your mouth on your mouthpiece so you can play your instrument. You need zero tension here. So what does that mean? You have to have tension in the corners of your embouchure in order to create a focused airstream and play your instrument. Okay, so the way that I can tell, sort of the test of if I'm doing this right or not, is can I create a buzz on my mouthpiece? So when I'm buzzing my instrument, that's creating the proper sound of what should be coming out of it. Okay, so mouthpiece buzzing is the test on whether or not your brass instrument is being played with the right technique. Okay, so let's try that. I did everything that I build my technique on from the very beginning. So I made sure my feet were planted. I'm sitting on the front edge of my chair. Posture, relaxed shoulders. I'm taking a nice full breath. And when I blow out, my corners are nice and firm. And the opening is just about the size of how you see the inside of this mouthpiece, okay? So the opening that I'm playing with is just about the same size as the opening of this mouthpiece. All right? So now, I'd like to go over to a resource that I use all the time, and this is an online metronome. So I'm literally on google.com, and I just type in metronome, and I want to slow it all the way down to 80 beats per minute. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and practice just playing a concert F in our mouthpiece, okay? So let's see what that buzzing sounds like when we add it to the actual trombone. So we want to ensure over the course of us buzzing and warming up on the instrument that we're getting a nice even tone going on, and that we're making sure we're maintaining an even buzz across the instrument. So that is it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope that is a helpful introduction on how to start the trombone for you, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.